one for that matter, because that we're here is not by our power, it's just by the grace of the Almighty God. And you know, we started with this special edition of our program on Monday. The program is AM Cafe, and what we have been discussing since Monday is the 100 days of our dear governor, Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. It came in November 27, 2022, and ever since it has been from one stride to the other. And today we want to discuss something still on it. After celebrating 100 days, what should the people of Adair State expect? And I have a guest in the studio who is going to answer all my questions. Is Mr. Shola Ishola. Yes, it's my pleasure having you in the studio today. So you want to reach out to our people out there?
Good morning, Nigeria, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to have you as well in our studio.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want a word from you saying it to our dear governor, congratulating him for spreading 100 days so far.
Okay, I think I'm one of the most excited.
Most excited?
Osun indigene at this moment, because I am happy to be alive, witnessing what some people attempt to be impossible in Osun State. And someone that we all have been looking forward to making it possible. So I want to congratulate all Osun indigenes and residents for being alive. You know, at this precious time, because I call it a precious time, at this precious time to witness this. And I want to congratulate Governor Nuruddin Jackson Ademola Adeleke for his first 100 days in office. He'll still have many 100 days to go.
Amen.
And many, many more afterwards.
Yeah, up to now is what people are now saying, sustaining this tempo.
Yes, sir.
Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strides.
Yes, sir.
Giant one.
Yes, sir.
Now, we want to ask, is it boring to do all this? Will you borrow more?
Okay. The question of borrowing.
Okay.
I think that it is too early
to start asking that
anybody
question.
To think that not even to ask questions. It's normal to ask questions. But he's already borrowing. 100 days into the office. I was talking to someone and I said, look, the truth is, the government has a way of revenue generation. And one of the things that the governor said was, one of the first things we did when he came into office was to block all loopholes.
You said that?
It blocked all loopholes. Blocking loopholes meant you are able to, money that was a waste. That was a waste that the government was spending.
It's a waste to government, it's not a waste to some people.
Yeah, well, that's for the people who want to siphon government money. So what was done is to block loopholes. And then allow and then ensure that money that is wasting is being used for something else. Just that.
Great. That's to say that, so far so good.
No borrowing.
No borrowing.
No borrowing.
Now let's look at, because I saw you very well during that unveiling of the broadband.
Yes.
Now we want to know more about this. What about it?
So you see, like I said on that day when I was presenting, that the world is a global village.
Yes.
And for every part of the global village to be connected, there has to be a representation. But you cannot even be represented if your internet facility is poor. So one of the things we're doing is to ensure that, first of all, as a foundation to, what's the essence of having the policy, having ICT innovation, if in the first place your internet connectivity is poor. So that goes beyond internet connectivity. But because apart from the fact that you can now have access to 5G network, you can also, your calls, normal calls that we would do from a phone to phone will be stronger. You know, because you want to travel between Ikero and Osogbo, and you notice that you are making a call, but at some point it looks like the network is failing.
The network is bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is to ensure that all parts of this state is interconnected. You know, either internet-wise or mobile communication-wise. That's one of the things that's the beauty of having that fiber
in the cities or cities and the rural.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Because when I said global village, what I'm saying is, in the real sense of it, there's no longer the word rural or urban.
Everywhere
is connected. Because I mean, somebody is in Ikirun, and that person is in Oshogbo. You want to think Oshogbo is more urban than Ikirun, right?
Yeah.
But then you can connect with each other
easily.
So there's no rural, there's no urban, because everybody's connected.
Everybody will be connected under this platform that we're talking about.
Exactly.
Because after the unveiling at the Adolak Agri Center there, we later went to House of Assembly to see what the commissioning there. So give us. Now we learned that there's going to be this listing on the Google map and some other things like that. We're talking of economic benefit of all this.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
So the federal government had initially in the last 1 year, I think last year, the president signed into law the Nigerian Startup Act, which is supposed to give an enabling environment
to everybody,
for people in the tech business.
Okay.
Right. It's also supposed to be the framework for tech companies that are foreign based to come invest in Nigeria. Okay. The basic function of that policy or the Startup Act is to show the world out there that Nigeria, as it were, has a policy that you can leverage on to invest in Nigeria. Okay. So one of the things that we are doing is to domesticate that in Osun, and ensure that foreign companies, because when they come to Nigeria, the first place they want to stay is either Lagos or Abuja, because of the enabling environment. Okay. So that's what we're doing in Osun State. When they know we have the law, not only that we have the human resources, the human capital, they would be interested in investing in Osun State. Let me tell you one of the things that has happened in the last 4 days. After the governor unveiled the policies and commissioned that broadband cable, fiber optic, I personally have received calls from some of our partners who are not even in Nigeria. Okay. After that day, the NCC, Nigeria Communication Commission, had visited the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. Osun here. Because this is unprecedented. And it's even interesting that this is happening in the first 100 days of
why that visitation? What's the purpose?
The purpose is to, let Osun know that NCC has noticed
what is happening
in Osun State. Okay. And that they are ready to partner at any point in time that we reach out to them.
They are ready to partner with us.
Ready to partner, ready to support.
Now, with all this development now, that is from the government side.
Yes.
What is it that is expected of the people of the state as a way of collaborating, as a way of promoting the innovation?
You see, one of the reasons why, or let me even say the reason that Governor Adeleke is referred to as the people's governor is because if you look at all the programs that have been done, it's people-centered. It's focused on residents of the state. So we would not have done anything without putting in mind that it is the people that will be better off for it. When we started, for instance, the Google mapping stuff, we called on volunteers who are residents of the state. Now, a lot of people were asking questions that, why would you make them volunteers? And I'm like, oh no, see, the opportunities that exist. For instance, after that day where I presented that report, we have had a company in America, referred to as Esri, reaching out to us to say, no, we want to see your volunteers. We want to know their data. We want to have their data in case we have projects. They have projects in Osun State that they're looking forward to doing, and they're looking at absorbing,
all these people
into their system. That's the benefit that nobody looks. I even hired them as well for me. I know that when we do this, people will be better. They will learn. They will know. But this is something that nobody saw coming.
I am from the north. One evening, I just received that message on my WhatsApp. The place gets listed. This is if I know something. We are talking about Google mapping, this and this. Oh, I said, what about this? So I started following. So later I accepted to be part of it. So you mean those people that volunteered then, something is waiting for them somewhere?
Something is waiting for them. And the truth is, what we thought about is, when we started the program and the governor was talking about youth empowerment, I said that, look, we are not interested in empowering people with wheelbarrow. or maybe farm produce or whatever. What we want to ensure in this century, people are talking about IT is the
driven.
It is the new world order.
Okay.
So, and that's what we're driving at. So we want to empower people with skills, internet skills, IT skills that will make people millionaires. So what we had in mind is not minding the fact that I know that some things may come up that we didn't plan for, like other companies interested in engaging our volunteers.
Okay.
We wanted to train these people in IT skills, whichever one they are interested in, maybe cable networking or whatever one they are interested in, and we are looking at getting, foreign agencies or even Nigerian agencies who will be ready to partner with us to train them. Our target then was 10,000 youths in Osun State.
But have you gotten more than that now?
No. So because what we did, what we are doing at the moment is the first 100 days plan.
Okay.
It's just afterwards that we now begin to spread into other plans that we have. But at the level that we are now, we have about 30,000 of our volunteers with us who will now be converting to beneficiaries of the training program that we're creating.
Okay.
And that's what's going to happen afterwards.
Now, what we have on ground now, Osbc here.
Yes.
There are other government agencies and parastatals all over the state. How do we first benefit from all this before? Because we must ask.
Yes. So internet skills, for instance, does not have limitations.
Okay.
That's one of the things I've said. In fact, I said it when I was here the last time. Internet skills has no limitation. It doesn't matter your age, your
status,
gender, or anything.
Okay.
At any point in time that you have been able to pick interest, you will learn it.
Okay.
And because of the fact that the new wave in the world is remote jobs, people can get job without even going anywhere, without even meeting who their employer is. I have gotten such jobs when I was in the private sector. I'd gotten jobs that I never leave the comfort of my home, or I never left the comfort of my home for interview or anything. First interview was Zoom, second one was Zoom, and I resumed job. My offer letter was sent to my email, and I resumed job. When I was leaving the job, I didn't go to their office. I sent an email. So there is nobody that will be left out.
Okay.
Except it's about interest.
Okay.
Whoever's interested, by the time we make the announcement, anybody that's interested can reach out, can get connected, and however, if you are engaged, with the government, for instance, we need to ensure that does not affect the job you're currently doing.
Okay.
But if it doesn't, the beauty of it is even that, the fact that you can now live in Osun and work in Europe.
Okay.
And our time zone is different.
I know.
So most times you're working at night.
You must work overnight.
You must work overnight. And that means some people that doesn't sleep much can now work overnight and still go to their normal job during the day and live off it.
Okay. Now, we also mentioned digital economy, and I know Osun, like Riley said, Barrister Olade was here 2 days ago. He mentioned about resources that are available here, and I hope we've been able to pick all this to showcase to the world that these are opportunities that are available within the state.
So I'll give you a privileged information.
Do.
When we started out, what we were doing, one of us with the man who is consulting for us in the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, called me and said, "Look, guy, Google is amazed at what you are doing," because he has someone who works with Google, and he told me that they're just amazed that the state government can be interested in something
like this.
Osun is blessed, apart from the fact that we now have a governor that is ready to
tap into
those resources. We also have ready youth. I mean, this is something that you may have to struggle for if it were to be some other state in Nigeria. So there are resources available, yes. What we now have is governments that is ready and opening them up to the people So in no time, if I get your question correctly, in no time we would have that environment, enabling environment that would allow those resources show up.
Okay.
And it's the most important thing to be utilized.
And we discussed about if anybody must come into Osun, natives or foreigners, they want to drive on good roads. And somebody was saying, Ikiru, Ilaudo Road, super. Somebody snapped it yesterday evening and sent the night view of that road to me. I said, this is in Osun again.
Yes.
And many others to come.
Yes.
So, how are you feeling about this?
You see, like I said earlier when I started, I was saying that I'm the most excited. Because, you see, that road, for instance, Ikiru Ilaudo Road, it's been abandoned, right? The governor that started it left office about 5 years ago.
Yes.
The man that succeeded him from the same political party did not touch that road. Right? So a man from another political party, which is supposed to be opposing political party, comes into office, did not change the contractor, called back the same contractor that the other party was using, and mobilized them to continue the same road. I think the government deserves to remember.
And I learned, he said something, that the projects are for us. You won't abandon any project.
No projects. I mean, that's supposed to be a sign. That one is supposed to be a sign. The Oshogbo Iwo Road, that the immediate past administration left, the governor had met the contractor to ask questions. What's causing the delay? Go back to your work. I'm not disturbing you. You've been paid. Continue your work.
And he said something. If you are picking any kobo here, give us a job of a kobo.
Yes. So it's about delivering the dividend of democracy to the people. No witch hunting, no discrimination. It's about the people. The road, for instance, I drove on it about 2 days ago, and honestly speaking, I was wondering why it would be abandoned. Oshogbo Iwo Road is normally a campaign
project,
because each time anybody wants to be governor in Osun,
we will
do the road, and they will go to tell they go to Iwo, they will say it's their second home, and that road has been there over the years. So because what happened, I saw what happened when the governor came, when Governor Ademola Adeleke came in. All the contractors left their project. As a matter of fact,
maybe they don't know what is going to happen.
They don't know what
they're waiting for calls.
Normally, politics happens. For instance, when Governor Oyinlola left and Governor Aribashola came at that time, all the contract that Governor Oyinlola had given out were abandoned. In fact, were stopped. All contractors laid off. But this is not happening anymore. When Governor Adeleke came in, he ensured that all the contracts that were going on at the time he came into office by the former Governor Itola was continued. Called a meeting with the contractors, told them, look, I'm not fighting you. I'm not against you. You are a contractor, you got a job, you've been paid for it. Finish up.
My brother, you're going to do something now, talking to people out there. The government is doing this from its own side, what people should do as a way of reciprocating this gesture.
Yes, I want to appeal to the people of Osun State to support the government. No government can exist without the people's support. Support the government with everything that you have. Ensure that we don't have saboteurs. Because when we are doing projects like this, we have people who are not happy with government, who are opposing, want to oppose the government by everything that they have. But when we see something that is good, I think that we should credit the government for doing what is good. So I think that's why I want to appeal to Osun people to support the government. When we call for projects that would involve the people, they should be ready to get support. Our approach, our method is not political. It is fair for everybody. It's people-oriented. We are not a member of our party, whatever. Once you are qualified for anything and we find you worthy, you get it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We're not going to stay beyond that. We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. To our viewers out there, you've been listening to The Voice and watching him live air, Mr. Shola Ishola, for telling us one or two things about the present administration. All we can wish Senator Adeleke is the best as he continues beyond 100 days in office. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes, once again, we say good morning and welcome. This is the second guest segment coming up on the program. The program, like I mentioned, is AM Cafe, and we're reaching you from our studios here in Oshogbo. It's a pleasure for having you. He's one of our big guys, retired but not tired one. He's our guy here, and he's still very much alive with us. He says, "Out, you boys, you want to wake me up this morning?" I said, "Okay, you just have to do this for us." And he's doing it. We say a very big thank you to you for coming here this morning, Mr. Shola Ajiboye.
That's my pleasure, Lassen. Of course, you said it, once a media man is a media man. And
once a soldier, always a soldier.
Always a soldier, yes, always a soldier. And I cannot hear your summons and I refuse to come.
You are a pensioner here in Osun?
Yes, I am.
And how was the last 2 months?
Well, it has been a departure from what we used to have in Osun State. Say in the last 12 years, pensioners have been at the lowest, well, I call it the lowest rung of the ladder. So as if maybe the pensioners were not even considered as fit enough to enjoy what people now call dividends of democracy. I mean, I'm talking of specifically the last 12 years.
Okay.
And no pensioner, except anyone who wants to deceive him or herself, will tell you that he or she has fared well as a pensioner who has given his life or his or her life to the development of the state. It's only somebody who wants to speak with his mouth, with his cheek in the mouth, that will, with his tongue in his mouth, that will tell you that things are okay.
You worked there for 35 years.
Yeah.
And you retired not up to 5-6 years now.
I say 4 years.
4 years. Now, your 4 years and your 35 years, can you put the two side by side and tell us how it looks like?
Well, it's like comparing, the 4 years is like comparing, what I call it, life and death.
or comparing cold and hot. The years I've worked, even during the, I mean, we're not talking of democracy now, during the
military.
The military were memorable years. I mean, you are ready as a public servant, as we were, to put in your best. You wouldn't even care, especially in this environment, you know the kind of job that we do.
Okay.
You want to just do it. You want to do it, even if it wasn't convenient for you, you still want to do it.
This is what you are doing. We woke you up from.
Yes, because it has been part of, broadcasting is always part of the practitioners.
Okay.
Except somebody.
A lazy person.
I mean, if you're a broadcaster, if you're a broadcast person, you are used to waking up early in the morning. You are used to doing your job.
Even when you are not on duty, you want to monitor.
Yes, you want to monitor. And let me tell you, during those days in Ibadan, I want to just bring you the Ibadan years.
Okay.
Even when you were on leave, you will still want to come. I remember when Oka's coup took place. I was on leave. BCS then, I was on leave. I was in Lagos. But, I came to Ibadan that day because I wanted to be part of the news crew.
Okay.
That will
go around.
Yes. My brother was saying, why? I said, I want to. And despite all the, all the roadblocks and everything, I still got to Ibadan. And I was on leave. So that was the commitment that we had. And because the system was not hostile, was not inhuman as we had, as we had. You could get your salaries at the end of the day. I mean, things were okay then. Of course, Naira was very strong. And even when we were here, I mean, in those days when the income was stable, when your salaries would be paid, your promotions, gotten, your whatever allowances that you are due for, no matter how small you could get it. It
contentment.
was contentment, and you are ready to give. You are just ready to give him everything.
How do you think pensioners should be treated?
Pensioners are elder statesmen. Anybody who has given his best legitimately, his best to his country, as a pensioner, he should be considered an elder statesman. That is the vogue in developed nations. This is why you find people just giving even their lives to their country. An American worker will want to give,
all his best.
All his best. When the American Neil Armstrong, when he landed on the moon, what did he first do? He was not looking for gold. He was not looking for silver. He was not looking for something to put in his pocket. He put the American flag on the moon.
Here we are. Here we go.
And you know how many? Do you know how many? It was a suicidal travel, anyway.
Yes.
Suicidal trip. That's about 35 million miles from the Earth to the moon. And many people, about 11 astronauts had gone and
thereafter.
But that did not deter Neil Armstrong from going again. And he went. And the first thing he did, despite all the hazard, somebody who went on a suicide mission. The first thing he did was to plant the American flag on the moon. And up to today, I know that the families of Neil Armstrong will be treated like elder statesmen.
Now that we've been having series of we're going to do this is what we are doing, like distribution of bonds.
Yeah.
Something happened yesterday as well.
Yeah.
That of yesterday wasn't the first anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't the first.
But yesterday, what is historic about it?
Do you know one thing? When I read the various reports, the news clips on the bond ceremony, it was unique in the sense that everybody could get direct information.
Okay.
Clear, unambiguous information, not political anyway.
Okay.
You could hear that so amount of money was given to parastatals, amount of money was given to teachers, amount of bond was given to civil servants, amount of, it was clearly stated, the figures and everything.
1.5 now.
Yeah. And it was not, there was no ambiguity about it. Just like the half salaries that are being paid now, you could, the clear-cut circular was given.
Was released to that effect that we're going to be paying this.
And it it's just like a time, like a prepared roster. And that
is prepared roster.
And that is exactly what the government is doing with this.
Following up with it.
Following up. And exactly what the government is doing with this
arrangement.
So it was not, many people just, so many billions have been released for pensioners. At the end of the day, we discovered that it's not. Even the bonds that were given before, the bonds will be announced as if the cash
will be made ready.
Or have been made ready. At the end of the day, you find out that
they will hold the bond for
even for a year or two. So, but this one is not. You see, when somebody, a government should be clear, should have focus, and should be clear about what it has to do, without sentiments, without politics, without ambiguities. That's how to run the government. How to run the government.
I know you read a lot about events here and there. Yeah. If I may say, you are coming to be part of this administration, because when names of members of committees were announced the other time, yeah, I saw something like your name, and I said, this is our guest name now. And somebody said, have you been? He is. You were part of one committee.
Yeah.
Remind me.
Yeah. I was part of the contract review committee.
Contract review committee?
Yeah.
Now, when that committee was doing its job, you were part of it.
Yes.
What did you see?
I saw quite a lot. As a matter of fact, there's one advantage that committee gave people like me.
Okay.
I'm not a politician, but I'm now in this government. Well, I was invited. Never lobbied. I didn't even know, but my name was included, and maybe based on what, maybe the government would have found out something about me, and felt maybe I could contribute.
Okay.
So, but I now knew so many things about governance, even through this small committee.
About governance. Okay.
And apart from that, I also discovered a lot of indecencies.
Do I tell you how Barrister Angunade described it? He said, we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Even the sublime.
Even the sublime.
Because, and at the end of the day, each day we sat for over almost 6 weeks. We were, so as information will come back, we extend it. A lot of things. There was no day that we sat that each of us never got sad. You ask me why?
Why?
Because of what we discovered. And because of the pains, the unavoidable pains that people were forced to go into. I'm talking of public sector workers and so many things.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, you find out that a lot of mess were made of this state. A lot of finances, a lot of financial infractions, a lot of outright theft of public funds, a lot of mismanagement of public funds were discovered.
And the governor added, when he was asked, where are you getting these funds from?
Yeah.
And he said, this is just from blocking of loopholes.
Yes.
And that loopholes, what was retrieved, he had spent on paying part of the arrears. And I know as a pensioner, you must have enjoyed one thing or the other. You want to let me into what you have enjoyed in the last 3 months?
I can say the greatest thing I've enjoyed is hope.
Hope?
Yes, hope that was
rekindled.
Yes, rekindled. Hope that was virtually shattered. Hope. Well, I have not gotten my pension, but I know that with the arrangement in place, and God's willing, I am going to, there's hope for the citizens now.
There's somebody that was saying, Now, you have an assurance.
Yeah, and of course, when you have a government that is that's giving you hope, even the tensions that you just naturally aware of, and you not discover that a government that was there telling people there was no money to pay what I will even call stipends, what I will even call stipends for workers, and yet the same government allowed an unchecked pilfering of government funds, unchecked looting. Let me call it looting now. The government.
You may not want to use that one.
I mean, best. You know one thing.
I want to advise.
Yeah, of course. Pilfering, yeah. you know one thing. The government that could not account for a $20 million, $22 million funding of PHCs, primary healthcare, primary healthcare delivery.
Now let's look at this script here, because I'm holding it and I've been holding it since Monday.
Okay.
And item, and I said, let's look at the medical outreach. Okay. I was in a war.
Okay.
Let me quote the KBC now. That he almost likened the governor to Jesus Christ, raising up the dead. That all these people have been confined and they are waiting for the time they are not spent will be made about them. But their governor, you are waking them up.
Exactly.
How do you see it?
You know what?
That's the KBC talking.
Yeah. Because he's with his
people.
With his people. And the little I know about the KBC, I worked there. That was my last point of call, as a public servant.
Okay.
I know that the KBC is committed to the welfare of his people.
Okay.
No matter what anybody says.
So committed to the welfare of his people.
And he's always in touch with his people. He goes into households, So if the KBC says that somebody is waking up the dead, one should not dismiss it. Exactly what is happening now. And you know one thing, the governor is not doing it with any political flamboyance or whatever. He's not doing it with that. He's just doing it as a way of service. He told the pensioners that who received their bonds that
yesterday
that he's not doing them a favor.
It's their right.
Yes, their right. He's just doing what he promised to do. So that is how to govern. You have to actually situate what your people want, what your people need, and do it. And you can do it by prudent management of funds, of resources, by priorities. You prioritize what is important. For anything, there's something that's immediate, there's important, there is maybe intermediate or whatever,
okay,
and then there's future. You look at what is critical, what is important now.
You prioritize
and do it. What is immediate. You also look at what is important and you do it. And then for any government, there are always a plethora of requirements. Then you look at it.
But Mr. Joy, some people have described this as a mirage.
To some people, to some people who may have lost confidence in governance, it can be a mirage. But for somebody, for a government that knows what it is doing, it is not a mirage. I don't believe anything is impossible. For instance, now people have lost confidence or hope that they will ever receive maybe their pensions or their even the half salary that we are talking about. To some people, it is a mirage. Some people have been told that there's no money to pay. That Oshun is Oshun does not have money. Oshun is very broke. Why is this man paying it?
Okay. Now this government has been able to come up with this number of scorecards in 100 days. 100 days is small compared to 4 years. Compared to opportunities that might come, if you do it well, your people might say, go ahead again.
Yeah.
Now, beyond 100 days of Senator Ademola Jackson, Nuruddin Adeleke, is what we are going to talk about. What do you see? How would you talk to government to sustain this tempo? And how do you want our people to come around and say, oh, we are with you? Because it's didactic, reciprocal.
Yes, I see a template being created now.
Okay.
For the future development of the state.
A template is already being created.
Being created. When you have it in other days, you have a government that has actually eclipsed what others could not do in 4 years. It's a very high template.
High.
Yes, and I know that the governor is aware that he has a template. Like he used to say that Here is a man. He doesn't. He's not there for any other purpose. I mean, is it there for money or whatever? But he's there to offer service and to sustain the good name of his family. You know, he has always been saying
sustaining the good name of the family.
So here is a man who is ready now to give in everything beyond money.
Okay.
So that's why I say a template has been set, and I want to believe that the governor is aware that he has an enormous responsibility of keeping that name, the good name of his family, and I want to believe that
he will not depart.
He will not depart from it. So that is on the part we have a governor who is resolutely committed to what he is inclined to do.
Now, are you giving us an assurance?
Yes, of course. Yes,
okay.
From the little I can gather as far as this government is concerned. I said we have somebody who is who is committed to giving his best. You know what his brother told him?
What?
His brother told him that one by one, that he's not asking for any contract. So he's not asking for anybody to come and that he has given him, he has helped, and with the goodwill of the people, support of the people,
not so many to
put in there that his name,
the
family name is there. So, and I know that the governor is aware, is always aware of it. It's always ringing in his mind that he has to keep that good name.
He said something on Tuesday that he believes in due process and the rule of law. I know you read so well about things. When you read that line, what came to your mind?
It is pregnant with a lot of lessons, not even meanings now.
Lessons?
Yes. You know what?
Believing in due process and the rule of law.
You know one thing that will always annoy me about the past administration. You know, Governor Yolola, when he was there, he established due process office, manned by a professional. And whatever the government did then was in strict adherence with the process. But when he left, the successor abolished that. The first thing he did was to abolish that office. So as at that time, Oshun was no longer due process compliant. But we have a governor now who has brought it back, and that everything must be tailored towards due process. And this is why we have, what we have now. The governor has not abandoned any project.
Yes, he said it, that he's not going to abandon any project. Yes. That the projects are for the people of the state.
Even the Kirun initial boundary, that is being,
will be commissioned.
Yes, will be commissioned. You know what? Our committee, during our interactions with contractors and all that, we discovered that there's that some contractors can give the benefit of their wealth, of their resources for the development of this state by being given, jobs, contracts that are worth it. And some contracts will just go on, kind of a contractor finance project. We sold that idea to the governor, and he bought it, and here we are. But one thing is that you have to be a man who follows your projects, your contracts. And that's exactly what he's doing.
And he won't.
Yes, he won't.
D'accord. If you are taking a cover for any project, you give me a cover project.
Yes. He has said it that it's not a question of constructing a road today and that road disappearing tomorrow. No. Do you know how many times that road has been worked upon? I know that it has been worked upon not less than 6 or 7 times. And it has never gone beyond, and yet those areas being patched and repatched were there, and several millions of naira had gone the drain.
Now, okay, we want to talk, because time is not our friend here this morning. We want to look at a situation where I don't know how to say it in English. The governor is doing this, or the government is doing this. The support, the collaboration from the people is germane.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
And I think everything is on peaceful environment. And it's only the people that can make things work that way. As somebody who has been here and now here, what can you say on this? How do you want to advise our people at all?
I know that naturally Osun is a very peaceful state.
Okay.
Except some miscreants who want to just change the atmosphere. Osun is generally peaceful. People, Osun indigenes and residents are peaceful.
Okay.
And once the government is doing well, you can be sure that people will support the government. So you can only have some pockets of skirmishes, by miscreants and those who do not mean well for the state. And I believe that the majority of the people of Osun are behind the government of Governor
Ademola Jackson Adeleke.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
And the governors are aware of it. Do you see the governor as a violent person?
No.
Does it promote any skirmishes or violence anywhere? No. The governor has been accommodated. He doesn't care who that person is. Do you know that?
He said he's not governor to all.
Yes, governor to all. It's not because he sees you as belonging to APC or whatever. No, he doesn't. As far as you are ready to give the best to your state, to this state which you all belong. So I want to advise the people to be in constant at same page
with him,
and of course giving advice whenever it is necessary. Nobody can do it all, and there's no human being that is infallible. So whenever the government is doing that is not measuring up to, people can say it constructively. I don't think the governor is ready to gag anybody, or has he come here to say he should not broadcast anything?
Is there any opportunity created so far to receive messages from the people, to receive suggestions from people? And do you see anything like that?
Of course, it has always been from day one. The governor said that he has something to hide.
He's not closing his door.
He's not closing it. Anybody can, if you have anything that is jamming, you can, work with the government and say it. It's not running a government of ambiguity. Have you ever seen?
He's not alone in this business. Yeah. Now, he cannot do it alone. And like you really said, that people in the community, in the state should be on the same page with him. Yeah. What would you say about his co-politicians?
Yes, I believe that the politicians should, a follower should always look at the leader.
Okay.
And I don't believe that any political functionary under Governor Adeleke will want to work against him, because he has said that mine is an open government. There's no ambiguity, but the government is a due process compliant government. And if that is the case, policies are for everybody. Anybody can come out with ideas on policy decision and execution. It is the duty of government to buy it. Once that policy is in line with the aspirations, with the legitimate expectations of the people. So there's nothing hidden. Nothing hidden.
The final one, let's go.
Yes, I just want to once again congratulate the people of Osun State for this new dawn. It's a kind of a paradigm shift, if I can use that word.
Okay.
A paradigm shift from the era of impunity, and we now have a government that is open, that is receptive to the wishes of the people. And if that is the case, that people should collaborate and edge on this government to succeed. If the government succeeds,
it's going to be for the good of all.
For the good of all.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming this morning. To our viewers out there, we say a very big thank you to you for being part of the show this week. Because we started on Monday and we've been running it, 100 days in office. And today we are saying beyond 100 days, we must sustain this tempo.
Yeah, listen,
sir.
I just want to add that Osbc can start looking for better days now.
Osbc can start to look for better days. Yeah. And we have started looking at something like that.
Yeah. And it will be so.
Amen. Yeah. Thank you for coming, Oga. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure. Till Monday, when we shall be back on another episode of the program, we say have a blissful weekend. Bye-bye.